The man picked up the glass of water and gently shook it. In an instant, the plain water turned into red wine. He isn't a magician. He's the person all magicians utterly despise. He opened his palm, revealing that he had hidden red dye in his hand. This elderly black man used to be a magician himself, but he thought making money that way was too slow. So, breaking the code of conduct, he became a full-time magic exposer. The old man led Banner back to the crime scene from yesterday to reveal how the four horsemen managed to rob a bank from miles away, seemingly by magic. He had Banner put on a helmet and step onto the anywhere door. Then, his assistant pressed the switch, and Banner dropped straight into the vault. It turned out that the four horsemen had built an exact replica of the bank vault beneath the stage, and what seemed like a randomly selected audience member had actually been manipulated during the drawing process. That Frenchman had been targeted from the very beginning. Under repeated hypnotic suggestions from the four horsemen, he traveled from Paris to Las Vegas, sat in a specific seat to watch the show, and unknowingly became the lucky audience member. As for how the money disappeared from the Paris bank, this part is a bit far-fetched. The four horsemen hid under the armored truck in advance, then hypnotized the driver, replaced the real cash with fake bills made from magic paper, and finally used a special fire to burn everything up, leaving no scent or ashes behind. With that, the entire heist was complete. But this is just All Black's speculation. There's no concrete evidence. They'll have to wait for the Four Horsemen's second performance to see if they can catch any flaws. This time, the magic trick is even more thrilling than robbing a bank from afar. The hypnotist's fifth brother asked all the audience members to write their bank account balances on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and hold it up to their foreheads. The big boss, Arthur, is also invited up on stage. Since he's a billionaire, of course his envelope has to be bigger too. His bank balance is a whopping $140 million. Next, fifth brother asks the audience to shine a small flashlight on their envelopes. A few seconds later, the audience discovers that the balances they wrote on their papers have mysteriously increased by several digits, while the billionaire's large check shows his balance continuously decreasing. Arthur starts to panic a little. He knows that the Four Horsemen's magic is always for real. Sure enough, the audience members all receive text messages from their banks, confirming that a large sum of money has actually been deposited into their accounts. It turns out that everyone in the audience tonight had purchased insurance from Arthur's company, and after an incident, his legal team exploited loopholes, so they didn't receive the compensation they deserved. So the real purpose of this performance was to rob the rich and give to the poor. After pulling off this feat, the Four Horsemen prepare to make their exit. Banner rushes onto the stage to catch them, but is suddenly tackled by more than a dozen audience members. Because before the show, they had all been hypnotized by the fifth horseman. Whenever they heard the words, "Don't move," it would trigger a specific behavior. Unable to handle the enthusiastic crowd, Banner could only watch helplessly as the four escaped. Not long after, he discovered that a chip had been implanted in his phone. No wonder the four horsemen seemed to know the police's every move. Using counter-surveillance, the police tracked down the four horsemen's hideout. Realizing they'd been exposed, they quickly packed up to leave, leaving Aji behind to destroy the evidence. But before long, when he turned around, Banner had already entered the room with his gun drawn.
Really?